cancel culture. And I know it's a nice, smooth transition, right?
It's okay.
So this is an important topic, and I think it ties into some of the things that you talk about in your new book, because I feel like, and this is something at least a lot of leaders I know struggle with. On the one hand, we say that we want transparency, authenticity, and all these different things from people. But on the other hand, if somebody says the wrong thing, we come after them with pitchforks. How do you balance this idea of being open and transparent, but at the same time having a difficult conversation, whether it's about race, whether it's about politics? Nowadays there's so many debates about vaccinated, unvaccinated, especially we're talking about with kids now. How do you have these difficult conversations in a safe space where people just won't come after you?
I don't think anybody has to worry about cancel culture. I don't think you should even give it another thought. Number one, so-called cancel culture has been around for as long as recorded history.
Yeah.
There was one entertainment historian who went back and started tracking newspaper articles of all the times comedians said, "I'm not allowed to tell the kind of jokes I want to tell. They're trying to cancel me," in essence. And these date back to the 19th century. And all of them warn, if you clamp down on what kind of jokes I'm supposed to tell, then no comedian will have the freedom of speech to tell the jokes they want to tell. It's never been true. The thing of it is that, if you believe in capitalism, then you can't believe in cancel culture also. Cancel culture is just capitalism.
Yeah.
If you're telling jokes and some people don't like them, they're allowed to tell you. Michael Harriot, who writes for The Root, said this about Dave Chappelle. He said, it seems like the only response he thinks is credible is laughter. And if people don't laugh at his jokes, that's not an acceptable response, right? If you say stuff, you're perfectly free to say whatever you want, but you can't, you're free from government prosecution.
Yeah.
That's what the First Amendment affords you, is that protection, but it doesn't protect you from people saying, "Wow, that was mean and obnoxious, and I'd prefer not to work with you." And it's the same thing with a corporation. If I was a major CEO and someone said something that was insulting or exclusive or just downright mean to a certain portion of my possible customers, I have the right to say, "You know what? We don't want to associate that you're blocking off some of our customers." But what I keep asking people when they bring up cancel culture is say, "Okay, great. You're concerned about cancel culture. Okay, give me an example of someone who's been canceled for saying something." And no one has yet to say that because, obviously Dave Chappelle was not canceled.
Yeah.
His Netflix special is still on Netflix. He's still a millionaire many, many, many times over. His shows are still selling out.
Yeah.
He's fine. So, I don't think anyone has to worry about it.
But should we not be scared, especially in a corporate environment, to share what we believe and value?
I think that most of us our skills in conversation are not great. And that once you become a skilled conversationalist, which usually means you're really improving your listening skills and your ability to ask good questions, that's usually what that means. You don't have to be afraid of all of these subject matters. I'll give you a prime example. One of the things that's causing a huge dip in morale and well-being among employees is the current political situation.
Yes.
And this was especially true under the Trump administration. So many managers believe the solution to this is just to ban people from talking about politics.
Yep.
But in fact, it's pretty bad for your well-being when you have to suppress these concerns and these parts of yourself. What's the much better solution is to get your employees the training they need in order to be good team members, meaning I can work with you even when we disagree, and even if I don't like you. We see no connection between whether you like another person and whether you can work well with them. And also to train them in how to have the conversation in a respectful way that honors both people's shared humanity and doesn't lead to an argument. That's the healthiest way to go. So I'm not saying don't say what you want. Obviously, you do not need to be making sexist, demeaning, racist statements, obviously. All I'm saying is that no topic should necessarily be off limits, as long as you have learned how to have those conversations in a respectful, civil, and a non-hostile way.